We are back with Jeffrey Polk. Let's get to it. All right, we are back with Jeffrey Polk, and we're going to do some more talking and finding out about him and his career and his life and our past. And okay, I'll shut up on all that now. Okay.
And our future.
And our future.
Yes.
That's right. So you've done a lot of shows over time.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite shows that you've done?
Wow.
And for various reasons, too.
Yeah, every show had its importance to me for some reason. The Lion King was really wonderful.
And where did you perform that?
At the Pantages Theater in Los Angeles, California.
That's huge. I just want to say that.
And it was a wonderful experience. They actually auditioned for about a year. They had already started the Broadway production on Broadway about 5 years earlier, but when they brought it to LA, they wanted to make sure they had the right people for the right thing, for the right second, for the right everything for that. And so it was really wonderful to be part of that family and be part of that creation that they did there for the Pantages.
Oh my gosh. And auditioning for a year. How can they audition for a year?
Well, I mean, they would call you every 3 months or 4 months or something like that just to sing a song or read lines or...
It took them that long to make the decisions?
Yes,
or?
Because they were looking at everybody around the world and people from everywhere matching people and...
To perform in the production in LA,
yeah,
so they may have brought someone in from another country.
Oh, they did. They always have to have 7 Africans, and Julie Taymor wanted to make sure there's at least 7 Africans in any production of The Lion King.
From Africa?
From Africa.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's beautiful, once again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's very cool. Yeah. So what role did you play?
I played Bonsai, the hyena. Oh. The one that talked a lot.
That was easy.
Well, not really. It was a very strange auditioning process because they kept handing all my friends going, here are 3 things you could audition for. I went, great. And Jeffrey, here's just Bonsai. I went, well, if I mess this up, I guess I'm not going to be in the show. And I really want to be in the show. Can I do anything else? I could sing background. I could even push a broom. I don't care.
Yeah.
And I kept going, here's Bonsai. I went, oh, gosh. The worst one, I walked in there, tried to sing every song I could. They were like, going, calm down.
They did?
Yes. Please calm down. Here's Bonsai. I went, oh. So
and why did they give you?
They knew who they pretty much had me pegged from the very beginning for some reason. Oh. Just I walked in the room, they're like going, that's him, we can't look anymore.
That's great in certain respects though, right?
It was great, but let me know, well, it was an honor. It was an honor. And then, you know, naturally the last auditions was with all the people in the room, like with Garth Vagan and Julie Taymor and all the people were in the room the last day, and I was so nervous, you know, I'm like going, oh my gosh, they were like going, do you want anything? Because I was doing another show in Vegas at the time, so I had to fly out there. I got out there like at 9 o'clock. My appointment was at 2 or something. I knew I had to fly back to Vegas that night.
Oh my gosh.
And they're like going, we'll see you whenever you can. But I was sitting in a room watching, it seemed like every star I've seen on TV go in that room to audition for these things. And I'm like going, okay, yeah. And
so you were watching this parade of people go by.
Yeah, listening to them sing, I was like, oh, this is really great. Now they're going, now it's your turn. I went, okay. They're like, don't look at Julie. I went, you know, Julie has her mind on. So I walked in the doors and I saw so many people that I knew. I was like, oh my God, this is so great, hi. And all of a sudden this lady popped up and went, can I get you anything to eat? I'm so sorry that I made you wait. I'm going, I went, you're Julie Taymor, why are you talking to me? So it was like.
And she was that nice?
She was so sweet. Oh. And I got up there and I did all my lines. She was laughing. I went, okay. And I went, I just hope I get this, you know, and I did.
How long did it take for them to contact you and let you know that you had it?
Actually, not that long.
Yeah?
It was wonderful. They let me know, I think that was at the end of like June or something like that. They let me know in a few weeks after that, because they wanted to start rehearsals like in September. I mean, whatever it was very, very quick. Yeah.
We were talking earlier, we were out of touch for a while, right?
Yeah.
And I went to see The Lion King not knowing that you were in it, watched the whole show, and then looked at the program afterwards and went, oh my gosh! And then I tried to find you after the show, and I didn't find you, but we did get back in touch.
Yes, yes. You should have called me, left a note.
I didn't have your number even at the time.
Yeah, just leave a note. Yeah.
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I left a business card with somebody, but for some reason it just didn't.
Okay.
It didn't pan out. Yeah.
Oh, somebody's going to be fired for that.
That's right. How long did that show run?
It ran for 3 years. I was there for 2 of the years.
Wow.
And it was really nice to have a production contract at home, 15 minutes away from home. It was great, and I just loved it.
Yeah.
But the cast was incredible. The crew, the Pantages people, everything was so magical. I mean, the first day of rehearsal, I saw everybody come in. I went, I'm in the wrong spot. These people are kind of pretty, and I don't know, they're okay, I said, where am I going? Luckily, a friend grabbed me who played Cincy, went, Jeffy, you're here, in the right spot. I went, ooh, these people look, ooh, because all these dancers and everything, I was like, whoa. I said, is this the right place that we're rehearsing?
And how long did you rehearse before opening night?
We rehearsed for about a month and a half.
Because that show, I remember it was huge, just everything about it. The music, the sets, the performances, everything was just, it couldn't get any bigger than it was. You know?
It was amazing. It was a thrill of mine. And going back to Young Americans, the assistant conductor, Jim May, was my conductor. One of the people, because they have percussionists, my friend Vanessa, who I did a tour with in 1977, was on percussion. I was like, and there were a few other people, and I'm going, oh, I'm at home.
How fun is that?
It was so cool.
It is a small community, isn't it, in theater?
Yes.
In musical theater.
Yes.
It's even smaller, I would imagine, right?
Well, I think the world's pretty small.
It is. And then in New York.
Yes.
Let's talk about your time.
In New York. Five Guys Named Mo.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, I did Five Guys Named Mo on Broadway. I was a swing, so I had to study understudy 3 of the guys.
So what is a swing?
A swing is somebody who's ever out, you have to cover it that night or replace them.
And there were 3 people you might have had to replace?
And that I did at one point, yeah.
So you had to know everything about everything they did in the show?
Yes.
Holy smoke, how could you do that?
I don't know. When I got there, I knew I was playing Little Mo, and I kept going, and the other guy was Big Mo that I played, and the other guy was No Mo. I went, well, I will probably never in my life do Big Mo because he's a high tenor, and at least No Mo's a tapper, and Little Mo's, that's just me. So I was there for about a week, or even not even a full week, and Doug Eskew, the guy who was playing Big Mo on Broadway, actually had to leave town for an emergency for a week that he had in his family. And they called me up that morning, said, can you come to the theater at 8 o'clock? You're on tonight as Big Mo. I went, well, that's not the part I've been studying. But you don't say that to folks. So I said, okay, sure. The yes and thing that I've learned. And I remember going, okay, this is all up to anything and everybody. So I studied all day long, and that night I was on.
How'd it go? Should I ask? I'm sure it was fabulous.
I think it went well. I mean, I put it this way, I just kept telling guys, I'm not sure what's going on. I'm just trying to get you through the show where everybody could get paid. And so that's all I can say about that. So I have a tendency to have a very loud voice, but there's one of the last notes in the show, he sings this really high tenor note, and I'm going to sing this, and I hit it. It felt so good. And Marie Fauché was our sound designer back then. She said, I cut off even the mics in the band, and we still heard you. I mean, you
just went for it.
It was a high note.
Yeah.
I mean, like if I practiced a lot, I could like hit it and temper it and make it pretty and right. I did that the next few nights, but that night I was just happy that I did and got over with it. Wow!
You know what's cool too is as the audience, these are the things we don't know. We don't know that that's not a note you would sing,
Right.
you know, on a regular basis kind of thing. You know, we don't know that you're like striving for that note that night and stuff.
And one quick other thing, Doug Eskew is like 6'5", probably 300 and something pounds, and he played Big Mo. Beautiful tenor voice, great performer. So he got sick in the middle of the performance one day.
To the point where he couldn't continue?
And I had to go on the second half.
That had to be odd for the audience, right?
For a minute, till all of a sudden I had to say a line, well, you got to listen to Big Mo. And the audience just fell out laughing for a minute. Well, take your time. Nothing I can do about it now. The big guy is gone. You got this kind of
You
like,
got me.
You got me. The littlest guy is saying, Big Mo, yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
the stories of theater, right?
Live theater, there's nothing like it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The energy.
No two takes.
Right, right. You can't go back and pick up or redo.
Once your zipper is down, your zipper was down.
Right. That's a good way to put it. And you had mentioned yes and.
Yes, and.
What is that?
Yes, and. Just yes, and. That was a Young Americans thing that they taught us as kids, going, just go for it. You know, there's no right or wrong for anything, especially if you go for it. And it'll teach you to be braver in your life, and that's what's happened in my full career. I've been a yes and person.
Right.
Knock on wood and knock whatever, bless God and hallelujah. But
Right.
yeah, people go, as I've been I was told, find the job and learn how to do it later.
Really?
Yes.
And you've done that a number of times.
More times than I would like to mention, yes.
Right. I love that. I love it. And you sang with the LA, or Los Angeles, I should say, Philharmonic.
Yes.
What's the story behind that?
The story behind that, they were trying to do, get these Disney classics back into the opera houses around the world.
The plays or just the music?
Well, if you realize, like Snow White has no dialogue.
It doesn't?
No.
I saw it so long ago when I was so young, I don't
Right.
really
A lot
remember.
of their earlier stuff, like Cinderella, doesn't have a lot of dialogue. Everything is music.
Oh.
And they called me up one day, wanted me to play Doc. I went, okay. And luckily, this is after I did Lion King. They just went, you know, hey, you're perfect for Doc. And it was a very beautiful moment. It was really great. The young lady who played Snow White was the first Mary Poppins on Broadway, who just finished it doing on Broadway with this beautiful voice. And I was like, okay, I kept thinking, am I going to have to be in a suit or anything like that? They rented the finest tuxedos for us.
Oh,
We got
nice.
treated like kings and queens, and it was so amazing. And the orchestra, part of them, most of them, played in the pit in Lion King.
So you knew them?
I hit that high note, hi ho, and all of a sudden I didn't hear the band come in, and I just heard them all. And I turned and went, oh my God! They went, go Jeffrey! I went, okay. And the conductor went, can we go on now?
Really?
Yeah, so it's like, look, I didn't do it.
They did it.
They did it. But it was very thrilling to, you know.
Right. Yeah. So they did the whole score.
The whole thing. During rehearsals, we get whistle while you work. We went, oh God, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. But the day of the show, our first run through, there was 7 professional whistlers back there. I've never sounded so pretty.
I never even thought about that. People get paid for whistling.
Oh, these are, yes.
Did they whistle all in unison at the same time?
Yeah. Sometimes it was split in harmonies, and yeah, it was the most beautiful thing I've heard.
You know,
With vibrato and
you
feeling.
don't
and-
necessarily think about whistling as being something that's beautiful. You know,
No.
sometimes it can be annoying
Yeah.
when people whistle.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a loud whistler, so yeah.
what you do the finger thing and
Yeah.
Okay, right.
But I kept going, I don't know who's going to whistle. I can't whistle.
And that was part of your character to do that.
Well, because that's what we had to do. We had to whistle while we worked.
Yeah. So you just faked it.
Yeah.
Did you do just one performance or more than one?
Just one performance.
Oh, guys, too bad you couldn't have done that longer, huh?
Well, then after that, they actually hired younger kids, different people, to go all around the world and all these opera houses to do Snow White and Cinderella and different
The classic.
the classics, and realizing that they all kind of stem from opera because there's really not a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, I never thought about that before. When I saw those movies as a kid at the drive-in movie theater, you know, which is where we saw all of those.
The one on Foothill? No.
Yes.
Yes.
The Foothill Drive-In,
In Rialto.
California. Through a little tiny, cheap, really bad-sounding speaker
Yeah.
that hung on the car window.
Yes.
If you don't know what drive-ins are, okay, we're really dating ourselves now, aren't we?
Well, I mean, they
Nobody.
could look it up, you know.
Yeah, they were. Well, I'll explain. You pulled in your car, and there was a big screen in a parking lot. And there was a big screen, and by each parking space there was a post with a speaker hanging on it. And you would hang it on the inside of your window, and watch through your windshield at the big screen, and listen to it on the crummy speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my dad was almost deaf. He had fought in World War II, and he had severe hearing loss, so he would sit right next to the speaker, and then
Wow.
he could hear. Yeah, that's one of the reasons we went to the drive-in, so he could sit right next to that speaker.
Speaker where you could hear.
Yeah.
You could turn them up as loud as you wanted, too.
And he did, trust
Yes.
me. He did do that. And let's talk about Las Vegas, Gladys Knight.
Yes. I had the privilege and honor of working with Gladys Knight in Smokey Joe's Cafe.
And let's talk about that more too, Smokey Joe's.
Okay. I've always been a fan of hers, and I've always just kind of like had this crazy crush on her, but type thing. But so after the Pips left, she was hiring some people to sing backup for her, and 3 of the people that I was in Young Americans with actually got the gig.
Really?
Yes. And so they were like the Pips after the Pips. And so
Post-Pips.
a lot of times I would like go to all her shows for free, but sit in the back, they go, do you want to go backstage? And I'll go, oh no, Then all of a sudden, Troika was doing a tour of Gladys Knight doing Smokey Joe's, and she went, I'm not doing it without Jeffrey. I went, okay. And they're like, well, Gladys knows you really well. I went, well, I know she's eating my macaroni and cheese. I know she's...
What?
Because they would come to my house and stuff like that and get food and take it back to her going, yeah, we got this from Jeffrey. And so...
That's funny.
Some greens and stuff, yeah. She liked my cooking. But she never really met me, but she knew me through all my friends and ended up being one of the most beautiful, sweetest, I can't talk enough how wonderful she is and what a gift she is to the earth.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh. So there was this time period where you got to spend time and be around her.
A lot, especially when we were doing the tour and stuff. We became very, very good friends.
Yeah.
And still good friends, I think, to this day.
So the tour,
Yes.
you went, where did you go?
We went to New Orleans, Boston, New Orleans, Boston, Chicago, and then back to Vegas. And that we stayed in Vegas for like 6 months, 7 months.
Oh my gosh, how fabulous. These are the things during the time period where we weren't in touch that I miss. So it's great to find out these things that you did in that interim, I guess.
We were at the Caesar's Palace.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
That's a thrill too. And if those walls could talk, right?
They were tearing them down as we were singing
What?
because they were going to reconstruct it. We were the last show there before they tore down that original thing, and it was very funny because we would finish the show, boom, and you hear the
Practically that.
yes, yes, the walls were being torn down.
That's quite an honor though, to be the last.
Yes,
The farewell kind of performance.
Right.
You know, at a place with history that's just
beautiful
oh my
history.
gosh, the beginning of Las Vegas.
Yes,
was at Caesar's Palace and Flamingo and those old casinos.
See, now I could say I played Caesars.
Ah, I like it. And let's talk about Smokey Joe's now.
Okay. Smokey Joe's is they call it a jukebox musical. It was a review of Leiber and Stiller's musicals, and I actually did the first national tour, but before the first national tour, I went to Australia with it. But I was in Australia for about a year performing it. When I came back, then I did the first national tour of it. But the greatest thing that happened out of that is I got to know the two writers very well, and Mike Stiller and
That's amazing.
and Jerry Leiber, God rest his soul, and Mike's wife, Corky Hill. And Mike and I and Corky are still very good, close friends. We try to see each other at least every other month to go to dinner or something.
Are they local? Are they here?
Yeah, they live
in Los Angeles?
Yeah. They live in Beverly Hills.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you've done 8 productions of Smokey Joe's Cafe?
I performed in Australia, the national tour, Japan, and then did one in Europe in 1999, and then and that was the one that we did with Gladys Knight.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you've directed it?
I've directed it about 8 times. Yes. Yes.
I saw it once when you did it at the El Portal Theater.
Yes, in North
in North
Hollywood.
Hollywood,
Right.
California.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I saw it there. It was such an entertaining, uplifting show.
That's the one that Jerry Leiber, before he died, said, "Oh, that's the show that should have been on Broadway." What he did with it, I'm like, I don't know what I did with it. I was just knowing what I would like to see done with it. So,
Yeah. Oh, how fun. Let's talk about, this is kind of deep.
Okay.
But what did you view your strengths to be when you were, say, 16 years old, when you got in Young Americans, versus what you see your strengths to be now as a seasoned performer, director, etc.?
I didn't know what my strengths are. Even at 16, I know what I love to do, and I think my love for it was my strength.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
And now that I'm older, my love for it is still my strength.
I like that.
Right. Because I never do, I'm going to be on Broadway, I'm going to be a star, I'm going to do it. You know, I'm short, different, you know. Just happy that they keep calling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing what you love.
Doing what I love. And knock on wood, I've gotten some major roles in some major theaters and got to do some major things around the world. So,
Are there other highlights that I haven't asked you about?
I don't, well, I don't, I don't know. There was a lot that happened between
In that interim
yes,
time
yes.
period, yes.
I don't know. Toured Smokey Joe's. I toured with Jesus Christ Superstar with Carl Anderson.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was Sebastian Bach who did it first.
The rock
Yes.
singer?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And it was the first national tour off of Broadway, and that was the 3rd time I understudied Carl. Never went on because I told him, if you leave, I kill you. And,
So
but God rest his soul. But he actually went through our tour. He was so wonderful. He was like a brother. He was such an idol to me, but he was also a friend who would call me up every other month or, you know, all the time to see what I'm doing and how I'm doing. He's wonderful.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great. And what do you plan on doing moving forward, or are you just going to go with the flow, you know?
So far that's worked.
Right?
But you know, life is a little scary, so I'm just going to keep saying yes and go forward. I'm now am starting to start teaching voice and coaching acting and things that I used to do, things that I want to see other people do. That's what I'm hopefully by the next year have enough students, that'll make everybody happy and keep that all that going. And yeah.
Right. Kind of giving back in a way, too?
Yeah, I always gave, because I always worked with kids. I always taught dance. I was always around kids. I kind of always admired what they do. That's why I like going on these workshops all over the world, because just to see some kid do something that they're so proud of, you know.
Yeah, and to see them shine and...
Right.
Yeah, you know, and I never knew when we did those shows back in junior high school, those musicals, I never knew that you would turn it into a career.
Neither did I.
But that was what sparked it.
Yeah.
It was way back when, with a bunch of 13-year-olds running
around.
It was pretty nutty with a bunch of 13-year-olds.
But we did really great stuff, though.
We did great shows. Yeah. I actually have those. I've got to find my parents used to sit in the audience with a little Craig cassette tape recorder and a little mic, and they would record those shows.
Wow.
And I need to find those tapes. I still have them. I haven't gotten rid of anything. So, you know, I'm sure I've got, not video obviously, but recordings, audio recordings of the shows.
Well, I'm glad, you know, they didn't have YouTube and all that stuff back then.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, so that was what my parents did. And every now and then, when I've listened to a few of them, it's been a long time since I've listened to any of them, but you hear my parents' comments.
Really?
Like, I really like that kid, you know, or, you know. Which is really entertaining.
But it was fun because, you know, Richard Nickel, our director, wanted us to always have the best of the best while learning what we were doing.
Yes.
And that also encouraged, I think, all of us to do better in our lives, you know.
And he instilled a lot of confidence, I think, in us.
Yes.
Yeah, way back when.
Yeah.
He believed in us, so we believed in us.
Right.
Yeah, which you know, yeah.
Because I was the only kid who could sing that deep in Oklahoma to do Judd.
Yeah, at that age, right? I'm sure you
I thought I was in trouble. He kept saying, "You want to do Oklahoma?" I went, "I don't want to go to Oklahoma." And he went, "No, the musical." And I went, "Now, what am I going to do in Oklahoma?"
Right.
And he did the scale and went, "Oh, you want me to sing that low part, whatever that is?" "Oh, no." "Okay."
And you did.
And I did.
Right.
And then I grew up and had to learn how to sing tenor.
And his high notes.
Because they want the little guy to sing high. So, hey.
That's funny. Well, will you sing for us?
I would love to.
And share your talent with us? We would love to hear you sing.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
We will do that next. Check back.